Harry and Meghan are among the most talked about couples worldwide. To some, they symbolize love and freedom. To others, they represent controversy and conflict. But the real story isn't what the public sees on the surface. It's what happens behind closed doors, when questions start to surface within a marriage, but the answers never come. Because sometimes the most dangerous moment in a relationship isn't a fight, it's the silence that follows. From the very beginning, Harry and Meghan set themselves apart from the traditional royal mold. They spoke openly about mental health, independence, and controlling their own story. Yet media experts note something crucial. When a couple carefully curates their public image, even the smallest changes do not go unnoticed. Not because it's wrong, but because public life tends to magnify even the smallest private changes. And as time passed, people started to notice subtle shifts. Harry has always been deeply aware of security concerns. Considering his past, that's completely understandable. But experts in celebrity security make an important distinction between protection and isolation. When daily routines shift often, when schedules don't quite match up, and when movements become harder to track, even by those closest, it doesn't automatically mean something suspicious is happening. Still, it does raise important questions about boundaries, especially in a marriage that's supposed to be built on trust. No high-profile couple lives completely in isolation. Harry and Meghan were surrounded for years by staff, advisors, and security teams. And when some of these people began hinting at tension or confusion behind the scenes, the media quickly took notice. Not because every claim has to be true, but because insiders often notice patterns long before outsiders do. And once patterns appear, they're hard to ignore. Royal commentators observed moments when Harry and Meghan's schedules seemed to grow more separate. Separate travels, separate commitments, separate timelines. On their own, these things are normal, but together, repeated enough times, they spark curiosity. Was it simply the reality of a busy modern marriage? Or was there something more complicated at play? No answers, just questions. Harry has openly shared his fear of history repeating itself. Psychologists explain that when someone carries past trauma, their sensitivity to uncertainty grows. Small inconsistencies feel larger. Unanswered questions weigh heavier. This isn't about blame, it's about how doubt quietly takes root inside. And once it settles in, it's not easy to shake. Occasionally, photos and brief reports surfaced online. Not dramatic, not conclusive, but the internet rarely waits for certainty. It fills in the blanks. Some images were seen as signs of closeness. Others suggested distance. The truth is, images don't tell stories. People tell stories about images. And once those stories spread, perception often becomes reality for many. Like many public figures, Meghan's past relationships and professional connections have frequently been revisited by the media. This is standard in celebrity culture, but when past connections are brought up alongside current secrecy, speculation inevitably grows. Not accusations, not hard evidence, just unanswered what ifs, the kind that stick around longer than facts do. One clear change was Harry's growing public silence. Fewer statements, less visible defense, more distance from the spotlight. Media experts saw this not as proof of anything, but as a sign he was processing things internally. Sometimes silence isn't about conflict, sometimes it's about reflection, and reflection in itself signals change. The hardest moment in any relationship isn't discovering something new. It's realizing you may have doubted your own instincts all along. When trust clashes with uncertainty, even the strongest relationships can reach a breaking point. Not with noise, not with drama, but with quiet. The story of Harry and Meghan is still unfolding. There are no final answers, no confirmed truths, no official conclusions. Only one thing remains clear. When trust becomes a question, everything changes, even without evidence, even without scandal. And sometimes the most powerful revelations aren't the ones shouted out loud, they're the ones realized in silence.